All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Neo the Warrior here with Austin the Artist.
Mm-hmm.
This is technically kind of a NXT and AEW review, but we only watched one match from each show, so we're gonna be reviewing those two matches. Do you want to start with the AEW match
I'm
or the
s-
NXT?
I'm starting with NXT match.
All right, the
Okay.
match we watched on NXT was Nia Jax, God help us, and Shayna Baszler defending the tag team titles against the women's Dusty Cup winners Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. All right. All right. So, okay. I'm just gonna say the winners of the match right now. Explain to me. Explain. Explain. I need an explanation. I need the biggest explanation you could give me because I do not understand. I cannot comprehend why that goddamn women's Dusty Classic happened because Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez lost
He said, lost.
to Nia the Mammoth, Free Willy Jax, and Shayna Baszler.
I mean, I'm pissed too, but I'm laughing at Austin.
God, I swear to God, I felt like I was watching Free Willy 5.
So, this match fucking sucked. It, it, so, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez come out first, and then Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler come out. So it looks like it's going to start off with Shayna and Dakota, but then Nia Jax tags herself in. She's in there looking like a giant fucking goddamn gold candy wrapper. It looks like this is what she's wearing. Fucking Nia Jax looks horrible. I swear to you, every time I see a Nia Jax, it's like she puts on 20 pounds.
The blue meanie is in more shape than goddamn Nia Jax.
I mean,
And that's saying something.
goddamn Shaq is in more shape than Nia Jax.
I know, and we'll talk about that later. Shaq
hmm
is in the best shape of his career, and Nia Jax can't be in that shape. Come on.
And fucking Nia Jax, I swear to God, like, I'm not trying to sound too harsh, but like, everybody else is getting injured. So there has been some more injuries. So earlier on NXT tonight, they had uh,
Oh.
Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa go against whoever the tag team champions are, O'Neal Lorcan and Danny Burch, I
Why?
think.
Why?
And
Why? Why? Because MSK Wesley
is injured.
got his hand broken.
hmm And also, there's another injury.
God,
Casey
why?
Catanzaro. Casey Catanzaro has a knee injury.
Oh, and I actually know what that knee injury came from because last week on NXT, Zaya Curtainhead Lee in the goddamn Agent Smith clone from the Matrix stomped her goddamn knee in like from a steel steps or whatever.
Yep.
So thanks Zaya Lee, we don't have Casey Catanzaro now, and
Yep.
thanks freaking to however MSK or Wesley freaking broke his hand because we don't get to see them for a good bit now.
Well, maybe freaking,
What's next?
maybe he got hurt in training like Anna Jay did.
What's next? What's next? Is freaking goddamn Finn Balor gonna get his back broken in the middle of the goddamn ring while
well,
he's doing goddamn press ups?
well, speaking of injuries and people's bodies getting broken, let's get back to Nia Jax because that's what she's known for.
Yeah.
Like I said, it started off with Dakota Kai and Nia Jax. Of course, Nia Jax, the big fat ass, gargantuan, overweight, obese, my 600-pound life. Nia Jax started off the match with Dakota Kai throwing her around. Obviously, I mean, I didn't think Dakota was going to do anything to Nia Jax. It's near impossible for anybody to do anything to Nia Jax without breaking some kind of bone. Um, so Dakota gets thrown around by Nia Jax, gets put in this fucking knee like Brock lock, and then Nia keeps attacking Dakota's knee, and then she does this unsafe move where she throws Dakota headfirst into the turnbuckle.
Because you
Um,
know what? You know what? Injuries. That's what we goddamn need, Nia. You know, let's get the AEW doctors here so that they can check on if Dakota Kai has a concussion. Because
Dr.
that's what we
Michael
goddamn
Sampson
need.
from AEW. But so then Shayna gets tagged in, then Shayna keeps working on Dakota, and they're doing the whole thing where, oh, they're keeping her away from Raquel, but then eventually Dakota fights them off, and then Raquel gets tagged in, and then Raquel starts dominating Shayna, and then Shayna gets her in a Kirifuda clutch, but Raquel powers out. Then fucking Nia gets tagged in, and this match was just kind of a mess. Like when Dakota and Shayna were going at it, it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was great.
Um,
It was great. But then Nia Jax.
mhm.
Nia Jax. Because why? Why is she even the champion? The only reason she's employed is because she's related to The Rock. She's not even blood related. She's
Nope.
married in.
Mhm. And her, so oh,
I could be like an episode of Friends and be a freaking identical hand twin of goddamn The Rock and be a better wrestler than freaking Nia Jax.
so like I said, when Dakota and Shayna were going at it, it was getting really good. And then, Raquel and Shayna, that's something interesting that I'd like to see. And then fucking Nia Jax, just anything Nia Jax is involved in is like a goddamn earthquake going off and a tsunami, goddamn cyclone, typhoon, volcano explosion every time Nia
It's
Jax
legit.
moves.
It's legit a preview to Godzilla vs. Kong every time she walks in the ring.
Goddamn, every time Nia Jax takes a bump, it's like the goddamn meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs off the face of the planet. But like, so, God, this fucking so Raquel and Nia go at it, and then fucking, I I was kind of out of this match a little bit just because it was like, just kind of a weird match, like, and
It
then
wasn't even the main. It wasn't
yeah,
even the main.
yeah, NXT's
Like
still on right now. We're not even
NXT
watching the
is
rest of the
still
show.
on. We don't even care. We do not even care. NXT
Yeah,
and AEW are still on.
yeah. So freaking. Basically, how the ending went, Raquel tackled Nia Jax over the announce table, and
Somehow the
um,
announce table didn't break.
yeah, and
You
Raquel
must have
was
reinforced
so
that 3 times.
this ending is confusing. So Raquel was the legal woman. She tagged in, and then when she took out Nia Jax, she took out the referee at the same time, and then tackled Nia over the announce table. So Shayna had Dakota in the Kirifuda clutch, even though Dakota wasn't
Because
the
of
legal
course.
woman. And then, for no reason out of nowhere, Adam Pearce comes out and brings out a Raw official, and then the Raw official gets in the ring and just throws in the towel for Dakota and Raquel
Alright.
Gonzalez.
Alright. I'm gonna take
And
over
Nia and
here.
Shayna retain the tag titles.
I'm gonna take over here. Mr. Regal, was today your off day? Did you take freaking Finn Balor's shift at the pub? Where were you?
God dang it, now Pub Finn Balor's going to have to be the thumbnail again.
Where were you, William? Were you?
He said, Mr. Regal.
I don't care if you were in your goddamn 2001 era where you were popping Percocet. Freaking come out here and goddamn run your show. What? Why? Why? Let Adam Pearce. Why was Adam Pearce here? Adam Pearce has never been on a goddamn NXT show.
I'll have to talk about that when we get to the Shaq match.
I would rather Adam Pearce my nipples than
Oh my God.
than goddamn have Adam Pearce here. Like I don't even know. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point.
So
I'm
Adam
so
Pearce,
goddamn mad.
Adam Pearce is like technically the GM of SmackDown with Sonya Deville, but then Adam Pearce was also on Raw doing the stuff with Braun Strowman, and now Adam Pearce is on NXT. Why is Adam Pearce on NXT? I'm confused. Where
This
you
is
don't
Paul
even.
Levesque and William Regal's show.
Yeah, where's
Why is he
Triple
here?
H? Where's Regal? Where's goddamn Road Dogg and Shawn
I
Michaels and
don't
everybody
give a
back there?
crap if freaking Stephanie McMahon showed up and helped. It would have been better than goddamn Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce, you are already running 2 shows. 2 shows. Not even including the pay-per-views.
So, LA Knight. I'm looking at what's going on in NXT right now. LA Knight made his debut with a promo.
I don't care. I don't care. I like Eli Drake. I'm not calling him LA Knight because that's not who I know him as. I like Eli Drake, but I don't like NXT right now because they just freaking made me mad. I swear to God, William, if I find out that you were taking some pints with Finn, I swear to God, do your job.
I found a freaking Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler Stan account. They said,
Oh.
"Yo, stop playing with my girl, Shayna. Period. We love our queens retaining as they should. Coda took that L. Should have been the other one that took the pin, but whatever. They retained as they should. Hashtag greatest champs." This account, if you're curious, is this is all one word: Blissfit Morgan.
How can you? Okay, no. How can you be named Blissfit Morgan and not have anything to do with Alexa Bliss or Liv Morgan, but you have something to do with Nia Jax?
People are saying this will lead to a rematch.
I'm gonna lose it. We haven't even got to AEW, and I'm still gonna lose it. Oh my God. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. You've got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. I don't need this before Revolution. I don't need this. Keep in mind, you suggested this. You suggested we watch these matches. This was Demo's suggestion. He's not even that mad. I'm the one that's mad.
So, Paul White said that, first of all, he botched the name. He said at Evolution, not Revolution. That
Evolution
AEW,
is a mystery.
That AEW is signing to a contract a Hall of Fame wrestler.
I need a...
So, this match fucking sucked. Honestly, like, I mean, Nia Jax made the match horrible. Anything Nia Jax is in is horrible. I mean, look at...
Why did they retain? Why?
Because
Why?
I don't know. Because I couldn't tell you. I mean, I hope
they could have gave those titles meaning.
They don't
They
want
had their
to.
chance.
They don't
had their
want
chance.
to.
I know they don't want to, but we could have at least hoped. I was hoping. Man, I haven't seen those titles have meaning since Sasha and Bayley had them.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, they barely had meaning then because they already got like freaking tossed around between like 5 different teams.
Mm-hmm. They have those titles just to have them, to say that they have them. That's the only reason
How
they have
can you
them.
even consider those titles an accolade?
Well, they do, because now
I would
women
rather be
have to
putting
hold
the
those titles
Rusev
to be a
accolade
Grand
than
Slam
got to have
champion.
that accolade on my belt.
Well, now women have to hold those titles if they want to be a Grand Slam champion.
Then don't become a Grand Slam champion, women. Okay? ladies, you do not deserve to be a Grand Slam champion if you have to hold that worthless piece of garbage fire.
I'm pretty sure the only ones who are Grand Slam champions is Sasha, Bayley, Charlotte, and Asuka, I think.
Yeah. Because oh God, I'm so mad.
So
I'm so mad.
the match was terrible. I don't understand the whole why Adam Pearce randomly came out and there's a Raw official. I'm assuming that this is going to lead to a rematch for the tag titles. I'm guessing maybe
It freaking
Fastlane.
better. It
I don't
freaking
know,
better. If it
but
doesn't, I swear to God.
I wanna say this right now. I don't really understand this. I don't know why you wouldn't just have them drop the titles, or I don't know why. Like I said on the Elimination Chamber review,
Why
why
are they
didn't
two-time champions? Why are they two-time? I just
because
realized that. Nia Jax and Shayna are two-time goddamn tag champs.
who did they oh yeah, they so they can drop it to Charlotte and Asuka and then get it right back, but they can't drop it to
But
Dakota
they
and
can't
Raquel.
drop it to a good team.
Yeah. They dropped it
Man.
to somebody that wasn't even a team. And what I'm confused about is why couldn't Dakota and Raquel have got their title match on Elimination Chamber? Why? God damn, that was a thick ass mic cut. Jesus Lord. Holy good God, that was a thick ass mic cut. But anyway, but anyway,
Let's move on to goddamn Shaq.
no, I'm not
It
done
was actually
talking.
bearable. Oh, you're not done? Okay, fine. If you're not done, I'm not done.
So,
Oh.
so what I'm confused about
Oh.
is why couldn't Dakota and Raquel get the shot at Elimination Chamber when they randomly gave it to Sasha and Bianca, who did nothing to get a title match. As a matter of fact,
No.
how come Reginald can pin Nia Jax but not Dakota or Raquel? That doesn't make sense. How come Reginald can pin Nia Jax but not Sasha or Asuka, the women's champions that she pinned? The women's champions that Nia Jax has pinned. Now they pin, well not pin, but I mean at least Nia didn't get the pin in this match. But still, Nia Jax is the worst, most overweight, goddamn sloppiest, horrible, untrained, injury prone, well, not injury prone, injury delivering wrestler I've ever seen. She is 100 times worse than Eva Marie. I would rather see Shayna and Eva Marie as a tag team than Shayna and Nia.
No.
Damn.
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it, and I'm probably gonna regret it, but I'm gonna say it. I would rather see Eva Marie and Lana as tag champions before goddamn Nia Jax as a tag champ.
Nia Jax, every goddamn fucking time I see this woman, I swear to you, it's like she puts on 50 pounds. She looks horrible. She fucking can't wrestle. Her character sucks. She's not badass. She's not tough. No one thinks she's a legit threat. She's not like fucking, she's how Big Show was. I'm not trying to disrespect Big Show, but like when Big Show got to a certain point in his career where
He was like 500 pounds.
where Big Show got to a certain point in his career where they would put him out there as a threatening giant, but you knew Big Show wasn't threatening anymore. That's what it feels like for Nia Jax. They put her out there as, oh, she's the biggest woman out there and she's the biggest threat, when goddamn she's not. She wouldn't even be a threat to a goddamn freaking ant on the fucking goddamn floor. Matter of fact, the fucking little tiny goddamn ant could probably wrestle, be a freaking teammate than Nia Jax. Goddamn, every time she wrestles, all she does is she doesn't know how to do any moves. She's unsafe, throwing people's heads into turnbuckles, doing moves incorrectly, dropping people on their heads, fucking throwing Kairi Sane into the step and slicing her head open. Goddamn.
Throwing Kairi Sane into the turnbuckle and giving her a concussion.
Mm-hmm. Not to mention all the other people she's hurt being in the ring with,
Becky Lynch, broken face.
and she's also a star on Total Divas as well, so that just makes it better. Because if one thing I want to see Nia Jax is how she's friends with the Bella Twins.
You know what? I actually want to see if Total Divas is renewed, because I hope it got canceled because of her freaking goddamn her being on it.
But freaking Nia Jax, every goddamn time she gets out of the ring, she is so fat and so out of shape and so non-athletic and should not be in this business that every time she gets out of the fucking ring, she has to sit down on her fucking mountain of fucking flab on her thighs so she doesn't fucking fall off the apron, because as soon as she climbs out of the ring, it's like her knees are gonna like buckle and she's just gonna fall down. And when she gets thrown out of the ring, she fucking lands like she's gonna break break her legs. That woman is too goddamn fucking overweight and out of shape and untalented and untrained to be in the biggest professional wrestling company in the world. And it makes me sick to my fucking stomach that there are fucking stan accounts for this woman, that there are people that say Nia Jax is one of the greatest heels in history, that there are people that say Nia Jax is the best women's wrestler, and there's people that say Nia Jax is the freaking most badass, like, big women's wrestler. It makes me sick that people think Nia Jax is good whatsoever. And I'm not sitting here saying I hate Nia Jax as a person. I'm not saying I hate the person behind Nia Jax. I'm not saying that. I hate Nia Jax in the ring and on TV. She needs to fucking not be employed. I don't, like, it's like Austin said, the only reason she's employed is because she's related to The Rock, quote unquote,
And
with
she's
heavy
not even
quotations.
blood related.
Exactly.
Dude, I'm sure she's a nice person. I'm sure she's a lovely person to, like, chat with. I'm sure she is, but she's not right for the business. I'm trying to be as nice as I can here.
And her whole motto, I watched this thing, I told Austin, back at WrestleMania 28, when The Rock wrestled John Cena, and she saw The Rock wrestling John Cena, she said to whoever she was sitting in the crowd with, she said, I want to do this, or something like that, and she said, I want to go out there and prove that big girls can do it, and I want to go out there and prove that someone of my size can do this. And it's like, people who are your size are not meant to be in athletic sports with other people, because people your size are unsafe. First of all, it's highly unsafe for yourself, because remember, you fucking had to have surgery on both of your fucking fat ass cankles, and you've, like, not only is it dangerous on your own health and your own well-being being that big, just look at Yokozuna and Andre the Giant.
Like we said multiple times, we're not just talking about women, we're talking about men. Even though Andre the Giant and Yokozuna were legendary, even though they were legendary athletes, they did not, like, they shouldn't have been in the ring.
Yeah, and Big Daddy
Love
V is
Andre to
another
death.
example.
Yeah,
and Big
Viscera.
Show's another example.
Well, Big Show now.
Big Show
now is pretty good.
Big Show at one point, because of his weight and stuff, he it was, I forget, I know they sent him down to OVW because of his weight problems.
Yeah, they sent him down to OVW for a year, but he still didn't get better, and he gained like 500 pounds.
Yeah.
He didn't get into actual shape until like 2017, where he got ripped.
Yeah, and it's someone like Big Daddy V, no disrespect to the man because he's dead, rest in peace, but
yeah,
there was many times where I remember one situation where this is way back in the day when King Mabel was wrestling Diesel. I remember Kevin Nash was talking about this because King Mabel was so big he wasn't aware of how heavy he was, and he was just throwing his weight around. And one move that had happened, because he was so big and shouldn't have been that big wrestling, I believe Kevin Nash was like on the ground, and Viscera was going to do like that Rikishi like sit down on his back. And what happened was King Mabel did the sit down on Diesel's back, but he put all of his weight into it and didn't realize how big he was, and he actually like really badly injured Kevin Nash's back, and Kevin Nash couldn't barely even finish the match after that. And it's like, people that big, yeah, it's like, oh my god, look how big they are, but at the same time, it's like, they're dangerous. It's dangerous for their own health, and it's dangerous for everybody that they get in the ring with.
I mean, the only exceptions I could really make that really weren't as dangerous in the ring, but still were big like that, were Rikishi and Vader.
And fucking Mark Henry.
Yeah, Mark Henry.
If we can...
Those are the only three that I could make an exception for.
Yeah.
I can't make an exception for anybody else.
And it's like, I told Austin this. I've seen other big girls wrestle because I've seen clips from this indie show where
Jessica Havoc, if you want a freaking example.
Yeah, and I've seen clips from this one indie show where this fat-ass chick, pretty much the same size as Nia Jax, what she did is she did a front flip senton off the apron, and when she landed legs first, and as soon as she landed, broke both her knees because of her sheer weight.
Would we put freaking like Viper or Piper Niven or in that category as well?
I don't think she's at that level. She could
Well,
get to that
no.
level, but she's
But
not
yeah, she
there
could
yet.
get to that level. You see, it's just like it's a thing,
Hmm.
man, and like
And the thing with the women is like when you have the big men like that, and then you have like freaking Big Daddy V. At least the men that they face, and most of the wrestlers that they face are at least full grown like large men for the most part. But with the women, you have someone like Nia Jax, and the women are all like what 100 pounds
yeah.
for the most part. The
And I mean,
women and their bodies
for you
are
people,
a lot smaller, and their frames are a lot smaller too.
that are probably gonna say that we're like body shaming, we're not Adonises. Like we're not in that like good of shape either.
Hmm.
But still, like we can admit that this is not good.
I'm just sick and tired of them pushing someone that has done nothing but hurt people in the ring, that can't wrestle, all because she's just quote on heavy quotations related to The Rock. Like I'm and like they know she's injured people, and when the whole Kairi Sane thing happened, or she injured somebody. I'm pretty sure Nia Jax got punished or something. She got like suspended for 2 weeks or something like that. But like
Definitely
still,
wasn't the Becky situation.
yeah, Becky's
Was
another one where all Nia Jax did was throw a punch, and she broke Becky Lynch's nose.
how do you? Okay, that had to be like a Mike Tyson goddamn shoot punch. It had to be like a goddamn
It was
like
probably her
force of a
throwing a
punch.
punch, not knowing how to throw a wrestling punch, and she just threw a full-blown, unsafe punch directly to her nose and fucking broke it.
Yeah,
And I mean, at least I hope at least to the people she's injured, I hope she's apologized. Because if she hasn't, then that's gonna make me 10 times more mad.
I hope
But
so too. I mean, I hope her and Becky are on good terms. I hope Kyrie Sane and her are on good terms because she is the biggest like victim
yeah, Kairi Sane
of all
doesn't even
this.
wrestle anymore now.
Yeah,
And freaking getting back to the match, like not like it just makes me mad that now like all of a sudden Nia Jax is pinning both women's champions, and that Nia Jax like they're like showcasing her like she's this great talent. She had this whole storyline with Lana, another terrible wrestler on Raw, and they're like giving Nia Jax the spotlight, and it's like why? Why? And Nia Jax is a former women's champion as well, and now she's a tag champion. So you know what that means? If Nia Jax wins the SmackDown women's title, that means Nia Jax is going to be a Grand Slam champion for the women.
yeah.
And that's going to be horrifying. But back to the match, when I see Nia Jax in there with someone like Dakota, who's way smaller than her, and she's throwing Dakota headfirst into the turnbuckle, that makes me nervous for Dakota because she's one of
Even
my
okay,
favorites, and I don't want to see that happen to her, to
even
someone
worse.
that can't wrestle.
I know Casey's Catanzaro is like injured right now, but what if that was Casey Catanzaro?
I know.
Like she's even smaller. Like that would be
Like,
a thing like to where like Ricochet would be a widow. Like it legit like legit.
yeah, it's like not like I hate not you. No one understands. Maybe Austin might, but no one understands my
Oh, I
pure
understand.
hatred and disdain for Nia Jax. I can't like. There are people out there like the Stan accounts, like the one I read a few minutes ago. There are legit Stan accounts that think Nia Jax is a great wrestler and she's one of the best heels in the business. Some people have dared to say that Nia Jax was a better heel than The Rock. Some people legitimately said that. Some people are fucking have an IQ of like point 0.5 that say that. But back to the match. This whole match was just a mess. It was confusing, and the ending was especially confusing. Nia Jax was horrible and sloppy in everything that she did. Nia Jax looks like she goes in there and tries to act cocky because she's trying to play a heel, but realistically, she has no idea what she's doing in the ring. And it seems like since everybody's smaller than her, that gives her the ability to just do what she wants to anybody and throw anybody around and not caring how they land, where they land, or anything. And I hate
One
watching Nia Jax when she's wrestling
I'm
people
gonna hate
like
to say it.
What?
I'm really gonna hate to say it, but I feel like one of these days there's gonna be an Owen Hart situation, and it's gonna be because of Nia Jax.
I would hope not. But
I would hope not, but
like I was gonna say, it scares me when she's wrestling all these women who are so small, like Dakota and like Sasha Banks, for example. How she went because she pinned Sasha Banks. Like when she's wrestling women of that size, like when she's wrestling someone like Raquel Gonzalez, I'm not really scared for Raquel Gonzalez because Raquel Gonzalez is big enough to not match Nia Jax's weight, but at least like if she takes a move from Nia Jax, I can be like, oh, Raquel will be all right. But when it's someone small, like pretty much all the women on the roster, give or take a few, it's like it really worries me every time Nia Jax wrestles, and I just don't understand like why. Like you would think Nia Jax would strive to get herself into better shape and would strive to train and improve at the sport that she wants to show everybody that she can do so bad. You would think if she cared so much about this sport and about wrestling that she would go improve herself, improve her body, improve her own health, and improve her skill. You would think she would want to do that, but every time I see this woman, it's like she gets bigger and bigger and uglier
I
and more
honestly think
dangerous.
she has gotten bigger. Because now that I think about it, if you look at her back in NXT and look at her now,
She's way
I think
bigger.
yeah,
When she got injured, when the whole thing with her ankles happened, where she had to have surgery on both her ankles, when she came back from that, she was like twice as big as she was when she got injured. So I don't think she trained either at all or very little during her time for surgery. That's just what it looks like.
I do know during that goddamn time, she was spending a lot of time on the Total Divas garbage. That's
Hmm.
why she wasn't really training.
I mean, it is what it is with that reality TV stuff. I mean, it's the same thing with
I
Lana
actually
because
looked it
she's on
up,
there, or
and
she was anyway.
apparently season ten was supposed to be aired last year around October. Guess delays, but they didn't delay Total Bellas, so it must just been Total Divas. I can only assume it's because of her.
But
Like,
Nia Jax is horrible. I hate Nia Jax so goddamn much. It seems like everybody does not like Nia Jax, but then somehow there are these people that, like I said, think Nia Jax is a great heel, think Nia Jax is a great wrestler, think Nia Jax is like the fucking, like they call her like the Mark Henry of the women's division, or like the Big Show of the women's division, or like the Andre. Some people even said Andre the Giant of the women's division, and like it's just
she's the great Khali of the women's division.
the Great
Like
Khali's
that.
put on better matches than her
True, true. Great Khali actually put on a good match with anybody that he could.
for the most part anyway. But like even Great Khali now, if you look at him, Great Khali got himself like even though he can't wrestle anymore, Great Khali is in great shape right now. I follow him on Instagram. Great Khali is in great shape. But then you look
Yeah.
at Nia Jax, and like, why is this woman even employed? Why? Like she offers nothing to the business. She offers nothing in terms of in-ring skill, nothing in terms of showing that oh girls my size can do it. I mean, yeah, they can do it, but if they're going to do it like you, then they shouldn't do it.
You see, this is what makes me mad though.
Hmm.
You get people like Nia Jax in this company,
Mhm.
but WWE has passed up people like MJF. I don't know if you know that. He was supposed to be on Tough Enough, but he got
No, I
cut.
didn't know that.
They passed up MJF. They've passed up god dang Jacob Fatu because of his legal history. They've passed up people like god dang freaking Eddie Kingston. They passed up people like Lance Archer. They actually had Lance Archer. They had Lance Archer, and then they
Yeah.
let him go.
I mean, that's what they do with a
Like,
lot of people. They have them and then they don't use them and then they let them go. But then they have someone like Nia Jax.
and
I just
if
don't get
you
it.
if you want want to try to call me a sexist, I'll go for this. They've passed up people like Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb.
Wow. They
Serena Deeb
had,
was in the company.
yeah, I was about
She
to
was
say
part
they
of the
had
Straight Edge
Serena Deeb.
Society.
Yeah. I just don't get it. Like, but the Nia Jax rant aside, the ending of this match was confusing. I don't know why a Raw official was out there and like just threw in the towel when Dakota was not was visibly not even the legal woman. I just don't understand that ending. I don't
They even
understand like
acknowledge they.
where's William
I don't
Regal
know
at
if
in
you
all
heard.
this.
I don't know if you heard, but they acknowledged that freaking Raquel tagged, right?
Yeah.
Soon as Adam Pearce comes in, they're saying that Dakota's the legal woman.
I don't get it.
I w-
Doesn't
I
make sense to
don't.
me.
They acknowledged that Raquel tagged. They acknowledged it.
Why are people like there's other people posting they're happy that they retain? Why?
I can't. I can't. We're not even on the AEW, and I'm so flabbergasted, dude. I'm baffled.
Oh, here's a person. I am very pissed off in what I saw earlier. These two were screwed by Adam Pearce, who shouldn't even be there in the first place. Also, Dakota was not the legal woman Raquel was, and Adam Pearce brought out a Raw official, and Shayna and Nia are still champs. Fuck you, Pearce.
There you go.
That's from NXT
Why
Central.
is Adam Pearce of all people? Adam Pearce, he's supposed to be a face.
So Adam Pearce, I don't know if I said it already, but Adam Pearce is like the GM of SmackDown with Sonya Deville. At the same time, he's also been on Raw doing this stupid ass situation with Braun Strowman because Braun Strowman wants a Universal title shot, and now Adam Pearce is involved with that. Now he's on NXT with the women's tag title thing. I just don't understand this.
It's like he plays a face on two shows, but he could play a heel on this show. I don't get it.
I don't either. It makes no literal sense. Literally no sense. Like, this match was horrible. Like, this makes me mad for the simple fact is like, you had the Women's Cup tournament in honor of Dusty Rhodes. You have Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez go through this entire tournament and beat all these teams. Then you don't even give them the tag title shot at the pay-per-view. You give it to them 2 weeks after the pay-per-view or a week after the pay-per-view, whatever. And then on the pay-per-view, you give it to a team that's not even a team that's going to be facing at WrestleMania for the title. And then when they do get the match, actually, you give it to a team that's facing each other at Mania. Then you have these women going into WrestleMania as the women's champion. Freaking then you have Nia Jax pinning Sasha Banks, who's the SmackDown Women's Champion. Then on Raw, you have Nia Jax pin the Raw Women's Champion, which is Asuka. God damn, that hurt because I hit my laptop. But still, why you have the worst wrestler in the company pinning these women's champions going into WrestleMania? Then you have this title. Then you have them retain. Why? This women's division on all three shows, well, okay, not all three shows, on Raw and SmackDown is so horrible, so badly booked, so god damn treated like the shit in my toilet bowl. Why do you still have these tag team titles? You made a tag team division. You made a tag team division. You brought these titles in for the simple fact, for the women's evolution. You brought it in for the women's goddamn fucking agenda. The same goddamn reason the women had the main event at WrestleMania, which was horrible. For the same goddamn reason, you brought these titles in just to say, oh, well, we can have women's tag teams too. Then what? You had a women's tag team division. Then what did you do? You broke up every single women's tag team you had in the division. You broke up Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. You broke up the Iconics. You broke up Sasha Banks and Bayley. You broke up
That Iconics
freaking.
one really stung for me.
I know you broke up all these teams in the division, and now the division is women that they're throwing together that aren't teams, like Charlotte and Asuka, Bayley and Carmella, Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, Peyton Royce and Lacey Evans,
Naomi
Nia
and
Jax, and Shayna Baszler. Like, what is this? NXT is the only place that has women's tag teams, because you had the whole women's tournament.
But even they do it too. But even they do it too, because they got Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon.
That's true. I mean, at least NXT seems like to have a division, unlike Raw and SmackDown, where you have the women's. It's not like you're seeing Io Shirai team with someone to go against Nia and Shayna, but on Raw and SmackDown, you have the women's champions teaming with either their rivals or people who are not their tag team partner and have nothing to do with them to get a women's tag team title shot. And they just throw it together every week. When Dakota and Raquel had to fight through a whole tournament, it just doesn't make sense.
And then when they actually throw together a good team like the Kabuki Warriors, they make it like a racist stereotype.
Exactly. It just doesn't make any sense at all. The women's tag titles are the worst championships in the history of championships. I swear, they maybe not the worst, but they are certainly the most meaningless titles I've ever seen.
The 24/7 championship has more prestige.
That's true. Because you know what? R-Truth at least is entertaining with that title. Even though the whole 24/7 thing is the stupidest goddamn shit on earth. I love R-Truth. At least R-Truth has somewhat entertaining segments with it, and at least when you watch it, you laugh and you go, "Oh, that's R-Truth." But with this, it's like with the 24/7 title, you understand, "Oh, it's just a joke title." With this, it was treated like a joke title for so long. It's not a joke title. They brought it in, and they made it prestigious when Sasha and Bayley won it, and then Sasha and Bayley were going to all 3 shows defending it. Then they dropped it to the Iconics, and you thought the Iconics are going to take the ball and run with it. They didn't get to. And then all these other women's tag teams, there's another one they threw together. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, for no reason. 2 women that had nothing to do with each other, completely ruined Nikki Cross. Now she's not even on TV anymore.
Thank God they broke them up. Thank God Alexa's freaking with Bray.
But it's like, none of the teams that had it after that did anything with it until Sasha Banks and Bayley got the titles back. But when they had the titles were just for show. I mean, they did defend them. Sasha and Bayley beat everybody that they went against for those titles, but the titles were mainly on them so they could have the Raw, SmackDown, and Women's Tag titles to fit their storyline and gimmick that was going on. Realistically, the women's titles were just a side piece to say, hey, we have this too. And then they lost it to Nia and Shayna, and they've meant nothing since then. They've thrown random teams together, like I said, Bayley and Carmella, Sasha and Bianca, Charlotte and Asuka, Naomi and Lana, and it's like, why? And
don't forget to mention the blonde bimbos of Dana Brooke
and Mandy Rose is another one. They literally, like, I liked Fire and Desire. I really did. They were a good tag team. Now Sonya Deville don't even wrestle anymore, and Mandy Rose, you would think that, I thought Mandy Rose was going to do something. I thought that they were going to like push her towards something, but I guess not. Now she's in a tag team with Dana Brooke, and they're the fucking goddamn blonde Barbie Bratz fucking blow-up dolls.
By the way, remember when Mandy Rose was in an on-screen relationship with Otis? Because I don't.
They killed that whole story, and they built it up, had Otis win the Money in the Bank. Then they had the whole Otis getting Mandy Rose storyline. Then all of a sudden, oh, fuck you, Otis, took Mandy Rose away and took the Money in the Bank away, and now they act like it never even happened.
And now Otis is with Chad Gable. What are they doing with Chad Gable?
Nothing. They'll never do anything with Chad Gable. Chad Gable is an amazing fucking wrestler. They will never do anything with him.
No.
But we're getting off topic from goddamn Nia goddamn fucking Blue Whale Jax. So, the women's tag team titles, right now, to me, Even though, oh, Nia and Shayna have been dominant champions and they've beaten the Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion, they've defeated every team they came across. Tell me why at the Royal Rumble tell me why they lost the titles to Charlotte and Asuka just so Charlotte could become a Grand Slam champion, by the way.
Yep.
And then they won them right back at the Rumble, acted like nothing happened, and people act like they didn't even lose the titles and got them right back. Then they have had this quote unquote dominant reign has only been since the Royal Rumble. You're telling me a 2-month reign with these two women is dominant? You talk about a dominant reign. You look at Io Shirai's title reign. You look at freaking I mean, I don't really like Brock Lesnar, but Brock Lesnar had dominant title reigns. You look at freaking, I mean, I'll even throw freaking Drew McIntyre in there. Even though he was a boring champion, Drew McIntyre held it down and had that championship. CM Punk is another one, the 4-3-4. Fucking, that's a dominant reign. And as much as I hate Charlotte Flair has had dominant reigns as women's champion. Whether I like to admit it or not, it's true. And like even Bayley, she held the women's title for over a year. That's a dominant reign. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler holding these titles for 2 months. Not even 2 months. It's like a month and 2 weeks. You're calling that a dominant reign? The most dominant women's tag team title reign? Excuse me, but Sasha and Bayley had those titles for half a year, and the first time they won it, they had it for a decent bit. So how can you sit there and say it's such a dominant reign? It's the stupidest goddamn shit in the world. It makes no sense. They're trying to make these titles look important when everybody knows that they're not. They're trying to make it seem like Nia Jax is this dominant, badass, big female wrestler when she's not. It's all just a fucking it's all fucking goddamn fake ass, phony smoke and mirrors. They're trying to make it all seem like it's something that's not. No, we will be talking about Cody Rhodes, and yeah, do you want to just get to that? Because
we should probably actually. How long have we been going? I feel like we've almost been going for an hour.
I don't know, but I want to wrap this Nia Jax thing up. I hope that first of all, the women's tag team titles are completely useless, and unless they get on a good team like Dakota and Raquel and they do something with it, I would love to see those titles in NXT because then they would actually do something with them. But anyway, I hope that Dakota and Raquel get a rematch. I'm assuming probably at Fastlane. I don't know. But I hope that they get a rematch and win those goddamn titles. And I hope goddamn Nia Jax falls down the goddamn stairs and breaks both of her goddamn knees so she can't wrestle again. And I don't want to say, oh, you want someone to get injured. I only want her to get injured because I don't want to see this woman on my TV and wrestling anymore. I don't want this woman to eventually kill somebody in that goddamn ring.
Like I was saying earlier, she could do like an Owen Hart situation. Not that we want that. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants that.
Yeah. It's just, I'm done talking about it. I just hope they get a rematch and win the titles, and then fucking Nia Jax can go back to fucking gorging on her goddamn couch while she's filming Total Divas season 10 on goddamn E.
Oh God, if they don't get a rematch, I can guarantee me and Demo are gonna be doing like a 2-man riot, like legit.
Freaking. So now we get to go from Nia Jax to fucking Shaquille O'Neal on AEW.
And Jade Cargill. Don't forget Jade Cargill.
Or as Jim Cornette likes to say, the female version of Shelton Benjamin. Well, not female version, but that she looks like Shelton Benjamin with a wig.
Jade Cargill could tie Nia Jax and Kimberly for completely just not being attractive.
I feel she's way more attractive than either of those two, but I see your point. But so on AEW,
that's why I said could.
On AEW, they kicked the show off with the goddamn mixed tag team match. It was Cody Rhodes and Red Velvet versus Jade Cargill and Shaquille O'Neal. Now, why they didn't put this on Revolution, I don't know, because you would think...
I actually know.
What? What's the reason?
Basically, the reason they were going to do it on Revolution, but the NBA All-Star Game is the same night as Revolution, so...
Was Shaq going to be at the game?
He possibly could. That's all I know.
He doesn't even play basketball anymore. Why does he need to be at the All-Star game?
I don't know.
He's not an All-Star. Have you seen his free throws? He certainly wasn't an All-Star in this match. Shaq certainly wasn't an All-Star in this match. Goddamn. Anyway, let's get to this mixed tag team match. Oh, you can talk about it because you were more mad about it than I was.
So, god dang, Cody comes out with Red Velvet. By the way, Red Velvet's been on Dark her entire tenure in AEW. So, just be reminded of this. She's only on Dynamite because Brandy is pregnant.
Yeah, that's true.
It's only because the American Nightmare seed freaking went up into Brandy. It's only because she got knocked up. Like, legit. I mean, I don't want to say it like that, because obviously, like, they're proud of their kid, but, like, the kid that they're going to have. But, like, still, like, why would I want to see Red Velvet? What kind of name is Red Velvet?
I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't.
Like, that's the name of a flavor of a cake.
That's true. But
I don't even like red velvet cake. Like, what makes you think I would like red velvet as a wrestler?
I mean, to be fair, she was decent in this match.
She was decent. She hit a couple enziguris and kicks.
I mean, freaking, she was way better than Jade Cargill.
Yep.
So they come out, and then Jade Cargill comes out and has a whole bunch of pyro and stuff. They're trying to hype Jade Cargill, which, by the way, this match was Jade Cargill's official in-ring debut, by the way.
I didn't even know. I thought she was, like, rolling around on Dark as well.
Nope. So then Shaq comes out, and, you know, it is a wrestling match after all. And what does Shaq do? Shaq comes out in a tank top and sweatpants with I'm assuming which were his own shoes, I would say. I don't know.
He legit looked like that he lost a family member. Like, that's how depressed he looked like.
He looked like he was doing this because he had to.
Yeah, like, legit.
That's what he looked like.
Like, he doesn't care. Like, yeah. I think he would have cared more if it was like a Paul White match or a Big Show match or whatever you want to call him now.
Yeah. Oh my god, man.
But like so basically, Cody and Shaq start off because of course they freaking do. Shaq and Cody try to do a lockup. It looks like Shaq's hugging Cody. It legit looks like they're doing freaking the best friend's goddamn hug in the ring. And I hate the best friend's hug, but god dang, I hated this more. Oh, Jesus. And then Shaq was like Kevin Nash, where he hits like the instead of the 5 moves to do him, it's just the 3 moves, because that's all he could goddamn hit. He hit a chop, a power bomb, and I think he hit a punch. Did he hit a punch in this match?
Who, Shaq?
Yeah.
I only remember him doing chops, and then he did a power bomb, and Cody Rhodes no-sold it, and that's all I remember him doing.
Oh god, man, this match, they basically go at it for a bit. It sucked. It was awful. Like Demo said, that was basically his moveset. Chops, and then a power bomb, and that was it. Then, god dang, Jade Cargill tags in for the first time. And she got... Oh my god, I'm... Okay, so... God dang, Jade Cargill is sitting here. She's doing okay at first. She's doing okay, and then she Irish whips Red Velvet, who looks like she's like 5'2", by the way. Looks like freaking Hornswoggle's mistress. God, and
Marco
she
Stunt's
tries to...
girlfriend.
Huh?
I said she looks like Marco Stunt's girlfriend.
Oh my god. But, like, she sits there, gets Irish whipped, and it looked like Jade Cargill was trying to go for a bicycle kick, or if you want to go WWE terms, the bro kick. But she legit hit, like, Red Velvet in, like, the rib cage when she was trying to go for the head. I don't know how you mess up that goddamn bad. But then the freaking announcers go, oh, she didn't get all of it. Like they always goddamn do. Oh my god. Then Cody tags back in. Okay. This is where I'm just like, oh my god. So, this is where the powerbomb happens. Cody gets hit with a powerbomb. No sells the Shaq powerbomb. Hits him with like his trademark Goldust Rhodes like freaking uppercut thing. And then hits Shaq again. Shaq goes like and runs the ropes basically. And then Cody Rhodes does like a Hulk Hogan to Andre the Giant power slam, but it didn't look as good. Like it looked awful. And then Jade Cargill tags back in because of course she does. They sit there go at it. Gets to the point where Red Velvet hits like a Trouble in Paradise Enziguri. She pins Jade Cargill. Freaking one of them breaks it up, and then Shaq is trying to fight Cody, and Cody goddamn runs the ropes and does a crossbody through 2 tables. Because you know it's AEW, they gotta have their indie spots. 2 tables. And oh my... I'm legit serious. On camera, after this crossbody, Shaq taps Cody Rhodes' shoulders. You do that off camera. You don't do that on camera. It was like, it was about to be off camera, and he just taps his shoulders. Oh my god. And then, it's Red Velvet and freaking Jade Cargill on the ring again. And it looked like Red Velvet was going to go for like a Rikishi driver, but then Red Velvet taps on the back of Jade Cargill's shoulders. Jade Cargill reverses it, hits a glam slam. 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but that's
and
not
you could go.
That's not that. That is not.
You could explain the rest because I clicked off at this point. I clicked off.
So this, I don't know what the fuck AEW is doing. So after this, they show Shaq being put into an ambulance. First of all, Shaq is so tall that he doesn't even fit in this ambulance. They put Shaq on a gurney. They tried to get him in the ambulance. So Shaq's lower legs are hanging out of the ambulance. So Shaq, who's trying to sell being out cold, has to bend both of his knees so they can shut the doors. Then they shut the doors, and all of a sudden Tony Schiavone comes up, and he opens the ambulance door, and Shaq apparently pulled some Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees teleporting, because when Tony Schiavone opened the door, Shaq was gone. So I don't know what the fuck that means. I don't know if Shaq's going to be doing something else, having another match. I hope not.
Oh, dear God. Shaq's gonna be like a Fiend character with his teleportation. Or no. He got freaking Broken Matt's goddamn powers. Where he just teleports around the goddamn stadium.
Maybe Shaq went to the multiverse.
Oh, my God.
Well, now that we talked about these 2 matches, I guess we can just... I could tell you what happened on the rest of NXT.
Might as
So
well, and
so
AEW.
after the women's tag match, LA Knight did a promo. Um,
Woo.
and then Bronson Reed came out. Then they did Bronson Reed versus Cameron Grimes, and then LA Knight helped Cameron Grimes beat Bronson Reed.
No, oh my god. Okay, so they ruined Cameron Grimes, and now they're trying to ruin goddamn LA Knight with goddamn helping Cameron Grimes. Great.
So then they did a backstage interview with Caden Carter, asking her about Casey Catanzaro, and next week they're doing Caden Carter versus Xia Li.
Great. Curtain head's back.
Then they did they also did the Way therapy session, where basically Gargano, Candice LeRae, and Indy Hartwell all got themselves thrown out of therapy, and the therapy session was just Austin Theory. And yes, that's what they're doing with Austin Theory.
Waste of talent.
Hold on, let me see what this is. So, I think it looked like Tyler Breeze was making his entrance, and then Santos Escobar and Everrise attacked Tyler Breeze for some reason. Then
Didn't Santos Escobar just freaking job out to Karrion Kross?
yeah. So
Like
then
what?
they did a package for Io Shirai and Tony Storm. And then so next week they're doing Caden Carter versus Xia Li and Io Shirai versus Tony Storm for the NXT Women's Championship. Then also next week they're doing Finn Balor versus Adam Cole for the NXT Championship, even though Adam Cole did nothing to earn a title shot. That kind of just like, I love Adam Cole, but he shouldn't be getting a title shot. So then the main event of NXT was Finn Balor versus Roderick Strong, and Finn Balor beat Roderick Strong. Let me go to AEW.
You're still recording, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm making sure because like it feels like it's been an hour.
So then, not media, dang it. All Elite Wrestling. They opened the show with the mixed tag match, and then after that, they did a segment with Chris Jericho and MJF answering questions from, I don't know if it was the fans or just podcasters. So some of the people they had up there was freaking the fat dude that they called Turkey Tits. What was his name?
Conrad Thompson.
Yep,
Apparently he
and
does his podcast with JR.
Yep, and freaking then Eric Bischoff walks up and starts asking questions about the Young Bucks' father, like not Eric Young, like Eric Bischoff gives a fuck about the Young Bucks' father. But anyway, so they're
And
answering.
then the Young Bucks come out. Okay,
Yep.
I did switch off NXT, but when he said MJF was on, I switched back to AEW.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as the Young Bucks came out and we're starting to talk about their backyard wrestling ring, I switched back to NXT.
So basically, the Young Bucks came out and they were saying that they were mad because they're like, we expected you to like attack us or attack our friends, but we never expected you to be so low to attack our father. And then they started saying how their dad is the best dad ever, and how without their dad there would be no Young Bucks, and if their dad didn't get them their backyard wrestling ring, and without their dad there would be no AEW and no Being the Elite. And
wow,
it was
so you're saying he was the equation we had to just cut out, and we wouldn't have had to deal with this?
So then the Young Bucks tell MJF that
I need to build a time machine.
The Young Bucks tell MJF that if there was no AEW, no Young Bucks, and no Papa Buck, that MJF would still be on the sidelines waiting for a call for his audition on some show or something like that. And MJF got all mad, and then they told Chris Jericho that if it wasn't for Papa Buck, the Young Bucks, and AEW, that Chris Jericho would be one of the guys pulling the curtains for the Performance Center, which got Chris Jericho mad. And then the Young Bucks they double super kick Jericho and MJF, and then Santana and Ortiz start brawling with the Young Bucks, and then all these officials come out to break it up, but then they still let the Young Bucks super kick people. Then the Good Brothers come out with the table, and so Nick Jackson puts I think it was Santana on the table. This table was on the stage by one of the entranceways. And then below the stage, they put Ortiz on another table. Matt Jackson did. And so Nick Jackson climbs up to the top of the entranceway, and then Matt Jackson's on the edge of the stage. And at the same time, both the Bucks dive off through the I'm just gonna say LAX because that's what they were, through the tables. And that was how that segment went off the air. And then and then after that they did the FTR and Tully Blanchard versus the Jurassic Express. I don't know who won that. Let me look. Let's see. Goddamn, AEW posts a lot. Oh, that's one thing you're gonna hate. Ooh, I can't wait till we get to that. So, FTR and Tully Blanchard won.
Thank God, I was about to throw something if they didn't.
I think. Hold on. God, Tully Blanchard did us. Of course, he did a slingshot suplex on Marco Stunt.
All right, no, I'm throwing something.
Oh, Sean Spears returned. Now he has a blonde mohawk. And now Sean Spears is going to be part of FTR and Tully Blanchard's team.
No, you put that jobber.
So, yeah.
What's the point? What's the point? And even...
So then they had a segment with Paul White, a.k.a. The Big Show, makes his AEW debut. He's on stage with Tony Schiavone. So the Big Show, I was going to call him Big Show, is going to be a color commentator for AEW. But he also says, like Tony Schiavone, he's going to have the scoops on stuff. And Big Show says that he has the biggest scoop that not even Tony Schiavone has. And Tony Schiavone looks at him all confused. So the Big Show says at AEW Evolution, instead of saying Revolution, he said that AEW is signing they're giving a contract to a huge Hall of Fame wrestler who will be making their debut at Revolution. Big Show says he knows who it is, but he's not going to tell anybody, and he says when they do debut, just know that he was the one that heard about it first. And that was that whole segment.
Hall of Fame wrestler, huh? Hall of Fame wrestler.
Then this garbage, which I'm probably gonna rant about, they did the fucking finals. Nyla Rose and Japanese bitch, whatever her name is, and the Japanese.
I wouldn't try to butcher it.
The Japanese woman, Mizunami, defeated Nyla Rose and now is the #1 contender for Hikaru Shida.
Oh my! That just means Hikaru Shida is not gonna lose.
Yep.
And we're still gonna have to see Hikaru Shida as the goddamn champion.
So Thunder Rosa was my pick to win this tournament. I don't know why they wouldn't have Thunder Rosa win the tournament.
Okay, I'm actually gonna say something. First goddamn match in the goddamn tournament. Serena Deeb versus Riho. Serena Deeb was my pick. Serena Deeb was my goddamn pick, and they threw her out for goddamn 95-pound Riho.
Yeah, and then freaking Thunder Rosa
Riho didn't even win.
Thunder Rosa was my pick. I think she lost to Nyla Rose, I think?
Yeah.
So, yeah, fuck Nyla Rose. And then fucking Mizunami wins this whole tournament, and as far as I know, she's not even signed to AEW, so great going to AEW. You have someone win your women's tournament, which, by the way, your women's division is the worst out of any company, and...
I think the only person that signed to AEW that was in that Japanese bracket was Aja Kong, and she's only had 2 goddamn matches on that goddamn company.
So you have a tournament, a women's knockout tournament, or whatever the fuck it was called, and you for to see who's going to be the number one contender to face Hikaru Shida, and barely half of the tournament is people you have signed to your show, and the whole other half of the tournament is people, these Japanese women who aren't even signed to your company. So you're telling me someone who's not even signed to your company wins the entire tournament, making your your horrible division look worse, and you know goddamn well she's not gonna beat Hikaru Shida. So great waste of time.
I know exactly why she freaking won the tournament. It's Kenny Omega's Japanese schoolgirl fetish. I swear to God, it's a thing. It's a thing because Riho was the first women's champion. Then they gave it to Nyla Rose, but that didn't last long because then here comes goddamn Hikaru Shida.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got this freaking chick winning the whole tournament, and she's not even signed. There's got to be some things. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Oh, Austin, you were gonna be mad at this. So after this, they had a segment with Sting and Tony Schiavone, and so then it turned into a segment with Sting and Ricky Starks, and Sting put Ricky Starks in the Scorpion Deathlock. So yeah, all to build up the street fight for Revolution.
Move on. Move on. I don't even want to talk about it. Move on.
What the fuck is this? Oh yeah, the countdown to Revolution. I forgot about that. Oh yeah, so they did 10 versus Max Caster, whatever the fuck his name is. And then I think it was for the last spot in the ladder match, I think.
Okay, how
yeah.
bad of a roster?
Yeah, Max Caster
won. How bad of a roster do you have to have?
I found out what Cody's doing at Revolution.
What is he doing?
Cody's in the ladder match.
No.
The ladder match.
No.
The ladder match is Lance Archer, Pentagon Jr., that whatever dude that just won, Scorpio Sky, and Cody Rhodes. And Cody Rhodes didn't do anything to get in the match, but freaking Max Caster had to wrestle a match.
Please tell me that was the end. Please tell me that was done.
And then freaking Cody Rhodes tweeted, he said, "Hope Shaq is okay. Absolute respect." Oh, and then
it's
they did.
It's still recording.
Yeah, and then they did. Matt Hardy and Mark Quinn versus John Silver and Adam Page. And John Silver and Adam Page beat Matt Hardy and Mark Quinn. Then was that it? Oh, and then they had a ending segment to the show where a huge brawl with all the wrestlers broke out before Revolution. And that was it. Oh, also some sad news. Jim Crockett, the legendary Mid-Atlantic Wrestling and NWA promoter, Jim Crockett, has passed away today.
Oh, dang.
But yeah, that was the rest of AEW.
Alright, well, I gotta make the thumbnail for this, so I would just end it.
Well, that was our, I guess, technically review of NXT and AEW, but it was more or less a review of the Shaq match and the women's tag title match, because that's all we give a fuck about on either of these two shows. But
did we really care? Did we really care?
I cared about Dakota Kai and Raquel. I didn't give a shit about Shaq or Jade Cargill.
So goddamn mad, dude.
I mean, it seems like NXT was more watchable than AEW. I mean, AEW is just fucking retarded. I don't like. I mean, there's people on AEW I like, but in terms of just an overall show, AEW just makes no sense whatsoever. it's just bad every week. And NXT is
I'm
nowhere to what it used to
looking up
be.
that Max Caster guy.
But yeah, so that was basically our review. So our next review is going to be Sunday for AEW, AEW's Revolution pay-per-view.
I'm gonna tell you guys, pray for me, because I don't think I'm gonna be able to. I don't know.
You will get to. That's one thing I'm going to be happy about Sunday is when we do the review. You guys get to hear an absolutely broken, distraught Austin when he watches the Kenny Omega versus John Moxley in the exploding barbed wire death match.
I might actually break. This might be my breaking point. And the thing is, I've been through Hard to Kill. I've been through goddamn freaking, like, the freaking Raw reunion. Like, I've been through all of that. All of that.
God. Well, that'll be our next review. I was looking at.
We still gotta get through Fastlane and freaking Mania after this.
So there might be one or two more shows we do. I don't know, because Ryan Satin posted a schedule, and apparently there's supposed to be another NXT takeover soon before WrestleMania. And apparently there's also some kind of other AEW show.
No.
Let me look it up.
Please.
I'm pretty sure it was Ryan Satin that posted it. Or maybe it was.
Please.
Someone posted it. Hold on. Please reload me on the page again.
AEW's gonna kill me, man. AEW's gonna kill me.
Dakota Kai tweeted, she said, #screwjob.
What? Oh my god.
Let's see. I'm trying to remember. Was it Ryan Satin? Was it him? I don't think it was Ryan Satin. What other wrestling news people are there? Like Ryan Satin.
Oh god, I don't freaking know.
Fuck, I'm trying to think. It was on my page, and it said something about in April there's some kind of takeover show, but I don't. Hold on, let me see. Wrestling pay-per-view. Oops. Schedule 2021. Okay, I didn't say just WWE. I said wrestling in general. Okay, so it's saying that for WWE it goes Vengeance Day and Chamber, which we already watched, Fastlane and Mania. What about AEW? I don't. So Revolution. Okay, so their next pay-per-view after Revolution is going to be Double or Nothing, but that's not till May. I don't know what the fuck I saw on Twitter. It said something about there was another NXT takeover in April, and then there was like
I heard about another
show.
NXT takeover, but I'll look at it.
Dang, AEW. So why do they space their pay-per-views out so much? So they have Double or Nothing in May, and then they don't have another pay-per-view until All Out in September. Then they don't have another pay-per-view until November, which is Full Gear. Then their next pay-per-view until that's going to be New Year's Smash. Like, why? Why do they, from May to September, they have no pay-per-views? Why? That's stupid.
I don't know.
But yeah, so our next review is going to be Revolution, and then Fastlane, and then WrestleMania. So and then after that, we're done with the reviews. Because I'm sure by WrestleMania, neither one of us is going to want to do this shit anymore. Especially WrestleMania is going to kill us. WrestleMania is going to be so much.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I'm dreading it. I am dreading it. I hope it's good, but I'm dreading it. But thank you, everybody, for watching. And we will see you all for Revolution.
Peace.